Imagine for a moment what it would be like if you couldn't communicate your wants and needs effectively or have those wants and needs met appropriately. People on the autism spectrum feel very frustrated that they cannot communicate appropriately and that their caregivers cannot meet their needs. This leads to behavioral problems. This leads to lifetimes of unfulfillment. And there are no real answers to how to effectively teach someone to communicate. So, over the years, we have discovered ways of assessing someone's communication skills and helping to facilitate their needs. I've been working for a company for the past 14 years in the adult program. I run a day program for the past 2 years, and there are 28 individuals that attend the day program, all of which are male, and 2 have very minimal communication skills. For example, one of the gentlemen can say that he needs the bathroom. One of the other gentlemen can say that he wants a cookie. However, when it comes to formative communication or anything other than cookie or bathroom, the communication breaks down and their behavior problems spike up when their needs aren't being met. So one of the ways that we first started doing this was to try to teach sign language. It seems appropriate for people that can't speak to use sign language or to learn sign language, but the problem with that is when we're working with a gentleman with autism, sign language takes a lot of dexterity. So if someone wants a cookie, you need both hands to sign cookie. Someone who doesn't have the dexterity to do that is going to get more frustrated, and the communication is thrown out the window, and we're back to square one. The sign for water is, you have to have articulation in your hands to be able to sign water. And if they can't do this, or if they just don't have the cognitive ability to say that if I make this sign and hold it to my mouth, that means I'm going to get a cup of water. So I would say over the past 10 years, we've discovered this system. It's called Picture Exchange Communication System, which is, the acronym is PECS. And we found that people on the autism spectrum disorder can identify objects through a picture better than trying to articulate it through sign or thumbing through a book to try to find whatever it is that they might need. So through functional assessments, we've determined what each individual might need or want throughout their day based upon their own personal needs and wants and desires. Then we find these pictures online there's a company, Mayer Johnson, that has like clip art photographs. Let me see. For example, let's see. If someone has a headache, like this is an example of a Mayer Johnson photograph. If someone has a headache, or they're acting differently, they start like rubbing their head, and you don't understand what's going on. They have a pain board, which you might have seen in the doctor's offices, with a picture of a headache, and this might be conveyed to someone that can't speak. They've been seeing this picture for years. They have identified this picture with something is wrong with their head, and then we can more easily take steps to relieve the headache or whatever they might be going through. So that's an example of a Mayer Johnson photograph, and this is available to all of the participants so that they can go to their pain board and choose something that might be going on with them. Some other ones that we have on here, similar to headache, is we have earache, we have stomach ache, which gets used a lot, and if someone gets a cut and they might need something like a Band-Aid, they can take the picture of the Band-Aid. They're pretty accurate photographs. I particularly don't care for the cartoon photographs. I prefer real life photographs. So over the years, we've gone to places that we know that the individuals like to go to, or things that they like to eat, and we've taken photographs of those actual objects and put them into their communication book. And so each of their books has real life pictures of things that they like, things that they might want to do. Sometimes it's bowling, sometimes it's going outside for a walk. We have a garden, so we do a lot of gardening and horticulture, and they do a lot of cleaning. So there they have There are assignments that are also on these pictures. So when it comes time for their gentlemen to do their assignments for the day or their volunteer work in the community, we make sure that they see these pictures so that every time that they go and do that, they're going to associate this picture with, okay, it's time to clean, or they need to use the bathroom, those things like that. So every time that they do attempt to go use the bathroom, we show them the picture of the bathroom so that they can, in the future, if a new staff comes on, they have an easier way to communicate with the new staff. The staff, there's no question of what the picture is. So we found that it can be seamless when new staff come on or when we do get new participants, but it's a flawed system because the best way to communicate, I feel, is through words. But with the cognitive ability of the folks that I serve, it's just not possible. So we're being creative with the way that we do use pictures. I was a diehard sign language fan. I took sign language in college a few years ago. I took 4 years of sign language to help me better my job, to better help me facilitate communication for the folks that I serve, but they don't know sign language. So it was kind of a lost cause. I mean, I'm glad I learned it, but I've been persuaded through research and through trial and error that the picture exchange communication system is the way to go. And I do think that it's the wave of the future, especially with the younger children on the spectrum, that they learn these pictures, they learn how to use these pictures, and they take these pictures in a book or on an iPad, anywhere that they might go, so that if they do go to a restaurant, say, and they want soda, they know how to ask for soda because they can't read it on the menu, they can't speak it with their mouth, they can't write it with their hands. So these pictures really have opened the world up for these folks, and I implore you that if you know someone with autism and they are having a lot of behavioral issues, to try to assist them with communication through pictures. It has worked wonders for the gentlemen that work in my program. They carry them around with them. We have a few folks that have vision problems as well. So you notice some of the pictures that they have are like 1 inch by 1 inch, which is fine. It's more convenient to carry these around and, less conspicuous when you do go into, a restaurant or a store. You don't want to be carrying this clunky book or, this stigma's already there. So why don't we just make things a little bit smaller, but still identifiable for the person that's trying to communicate and the person that's receiving the communication. So we have the 1 inch by 1 inch for the gentlemen that don't have vision problems, but we do have, you can make them any size you want. But we've also made some, these are 4 by 4. So when this gentleman goes to firehouse, he volunteers at a firehouse and he sweeps the floor. So he'll take these and the staff will go through his book and they'll take out this picture and they'll show him that it's time to sweep the floor. And they'll use verbal language as well. This isn't just a strictly silent communication system where you just show a picture with no interaction and no inflection. So we do speak the pictures that we use. We speak just the words that are on the picture to make it easier to understand for someone with autism. And so this has helped them in the community. This has helped them in their homes. This has helped some of their parents better communicate with their children. And the diminishing behavior problems it's data driven. So we can see what has happened over these past few years, the amount of behavior problems that have dropped completely because they're now able to communicate through this picture system. And then the person's quality of life also has gone up. And that's the best part about this, is that when you can effectively communicate, you can get better results. And these folks who some of them are in their 50s, just, going through life silent and going with the flow of everybody else that lives in their house or that's in their classroom. But now they have a voice. They have pictures. They have a way that they can express their feelings and express their emotions, their wants, their needs. And as an educator and a caregiver, this is the way to go for me. I feel like this should be in all classrooms for children, even if they don't have autism. This is a way to communicate effectively. Some people don't like to speak, especially children. They get very shy, and if they have pictures they can show their parents or their teachers, I just feel that it can only do good. The more options and supports you have for either your child or someone else's child, one of your students, the better your day is going to be, the better their day is going to be. Their self-esteem is going to go up. Their anxiety is going to go down. And so to bring it back, that I understand what it's like to be frustrated when my wants and needs aren't met, and I feel like I'm communicating effectively, but I'm not, because I'm not getting my point across, and the person who is expected to deliver those wants and needs is not understanding what I'm saying, and of course, it gets frustrating. I don't use pictures. I'm able to use my words and articulate my words, but for those that I have met through my life that have had trouble, especially on the autism spectrum disorder, communicating, these pictures have been a godsend. And I hope that you can take from this that there are differential ways of teaching communication and receiving communication and helping people live a better life. And that's basically what this is about, is helping people enhance their quality of life and be the person that they want to be. So, good luck.